Hello, all of you gamers, professional and casual out there in the world. I am MegaAmpster. Thank you for clicking on this video if you did. If you're new here, great to see you here. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're a returning viewer, always good to have you here. Always great to see you. Hope you're doing well. Anyways, this is a very off-the-cuff video that I wanted to make because for the last few months, I've been playing, not Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I know, that's the one that just came out this year, right, as of this recording, but I have been playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, if I can say that correctly, and I just last night beat the main story with doing almost all, I assume almost all of the side quests, and I wanted to make a quick little video about this because I've never played a Xenoblade game before. Heck, I don't play a lot of RPGs. If you've been on this channel before, you know I'm not a huge RPG kind of person. And I mean, you would think Xenoblade would be the game that I would stay away from because of how absurdly long it is. And especially if you do all the side stuff, which I did do. But, you know, I just wanted to talk about this because I wanted to get my thoughts out there that this is such a good game. I know, shout out to Jared, Slogical, all of you who made me play this game. I was very hesitant to because of how long I heard the game was. You know, when I was everything said and done, I put like just about 120 hours into the main game, all this, doing a lot of the side quests and everything. I almost did everything. I was trying to finish that Collectopedia, but that stupid love source, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, but I won't go into detail about that. Just the reason why this game is so good, the reason why it got me so invested, I was so addicted and just so immersed into the game. For me, I love a good game with good characters and good story, and this game nails that. Like, the characters in this game are some of the best characters I've ever connected with in a video game before. They are just that compelling. Some of them are better than others for sure, but none of them feel like weak necessarily. There are a lot of side characters that maybe don't get as much of the spotlight, but the core cast is really, really good. There are a few weird places the story took, I kind of thought, but it made it engaging, and I really couldn't predict some things, and it just kind of happened. I was like, wait, what the fuck? And it got a little better sometimes, especially near the end. I'm not going to spoil anything. No spoilers here for the story. Just go play the game yourself. This is coming from someone, just to reiterate, I am not big into RPGs. I usually like games that are pretty short and to the point, and, you know, I can beat it in 10, 20 hours and then move on with my life, right? But this game, I gave it a shot. I told my friend Jared, I was like, listen, I'm going to try to play this game this year because I bought it in like a GameStop sale, like buy two, get one free last year. I was like, yeah, why not? I'll check it out at some point. I put maybe like 10 hours of Xenoblade Chronicles X on Wii U back in the day when that first came out, and I really didn't invest time into it. And I was like, you know what, I'll give the series a fair shot with the first game, because I mean, it's his favorite game, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jared. He was like, you gotta play this. I'm like, okay, cool. Sat down just shortly after moving into this current apartment, actually, and for the last few months, that's what I've been playing outside of streaming. And I was like, you know, like, it's pretty fun. Like, I do like the action, you know, the different cycling through the different arts and stuff, like that style of action. I prefer that to turn-based, so that certainly helped a lot. But I was like, okay, it's getting a little bit repetitive, I guess. And then, like, something clicked. Like, it took me, like, maybe, like, 10, 15 hours or so, but something clicked and just hooked me to where I wanted to do every side quest that popped up in my quest log. I wanted to try to complete the Collectopedia of every single region. I wanted to go out of my way and do all of this stuff and just see the story through, invest myself in the world and the characters and the music. Oh my god, the music. I'm pretty sure they did some remixes too for like Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate, and the music group, I think it's Ace, right, who did like the main music. I don't know if it's just someone, correct me, you know what, anybody watching, correct me. Their work is, they do it, the whole soundtrack is just phenomenal. All like the orchestral pieces, just there's some absolute bangers, like of course the battle themes, You Will Know Our Names, crap, what's the Mechanical Rhythm, the other one. It's so good, and this game just keeps you on your toes nonstop. But the thing I have to commend this game the most for, I do look back and cringe at how many hours I put into it. I'm like, wow, I put 120 hours, that's a lot. That's literally like 5 days straight, right? That's exactly 5 days straight. But I look back and I'm like, this is one of the games where I've been the most engrossed in terms of the story and the characters, and just seeing these characters develop. There's a bunch of different side stuff you can do to like raise the relationships, and they have little dialogue options. I'm pretty sure I did every single one of those because I love seeing these characters grow together and become stronger as a result, and just to see how far everything came in at the end. It's just like honestly incredible. Like I said, this is one of in terms of the characters, one of the best games I've ever played, hands down. You know, in terms of RPG, it's easily one of, if not the best RPG I've ever played. I'm not a big RPG guy, so that's pretty limited. But between this, Fire Emblem Awakening, I also really like. I think it's a really good game. Project Crowzone 2 is also up there, but that's just more of a guilty pleasure. I recognize it's not the best game, but in terms of all those, this is easily the best, well-made, like the best made game out of all those in terms of just like, you know, just in terms of like how much effort is put into it, and you can just feel the passion behind it. You can feel the passion behind all of this game with the music, the cutscenes, the locales, and all the different little secrets and stuff, the characters and story. You can just feel the passion behind it. And it's honestly, I think it's honestly incredible how far this game series has come from, because shout out to Good Vibes Gaming a few months back when they made their whole Xeno, not just Xenoblade, but Xenogears, Xenosaga, however you pronounce it. They did the whole entirety of that, just a retrospective of that series, of the other games too, and how they lead into Chronicles and how they reference each other and stuff like that. And it's come such a long way. I think the original creator was from the Final Fantasy team when Xenogears happened, and then it kind of spun into its whole thing. I know very little about Saga itself, but then Xenoblade, you know, I made a video earlier this year about, you know, to get people to stop hating on Xenoblade and Fire Emblem. And that was mostly a joke, but there were some people taking it very seriously and really bashing these franchises. When I went over the stuff and did a little bit of research into that, like this, we almost did not get this franchise in areas outside of Japan. It was almost a one and done game, just like here's Xenoblade Chronicles, throw it out there, boom. Maybe they had plans for the sequels in Japan still, but in terms of getting it into the US and probably Europe too, I imagine, the process of getting it localized, it almost didn't happen. It took so much clamoring from the fans. And look at where we are now. The third game came out and it's literally being nominated for Game of the Year, finally. I don't know why this game or the other, I don't know. They must have had some kind of game awards back when this game came out, right? But like Xenoblade 2 just got completely shafted. I've heard good things about that game. I've heard all other divided things about it too, but it's so good to see the Xenoblade franchise finally getting the recognition it deserves. And there still seems to be a lot of unbiased hate towards this from what I can tell. I don't know if it's just because it's a JRPG or whatever. I mean, I look back on my perspective on it, and to be honest, I wasn't really willing to give it a shot earlier on in my gaming career. I don't know how else to describe my gaming life, I guess. And just, you know, earlier on, it took a lot to get me to play this game, and other RPGs too, like Fire Emblem. Playing Awakening years ago really changed my perspective of strategy RPGs, and that got me into Project Crowzone. And it's funny because I actually met some of the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles from Project Crowzone because they're in that game. I won't say which characters, I don't want to spoil anything, but the fact that I knew of them there was kind of funny. And then I'm like, oh, this is the actual game they're from, cool. But like, in the same way that Fire Emblem Awakening opened me up to strategy RPGs a little bit, Xenoblade Chronicles has really opened me up to action RPGs or JRPGs in general, and just kind of that style, because turn-based has never really been for me. Like, Pokemon's an exception because I just love collecting Pokemon, but the battling I'm not too crazy about. But like, classic Final Fantasies, Dragon Quest, stuff like that's never really appealed to me necessarily, just in terms of the turn-based system. Like I said, there's definitely exceptions to that. Phantasy Star 4 is actually a good one, but this game just, I think, has really opened me up to more RPGs just in that same vein. I mean, I do want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 now. I don't know if I ever will because they're so long and I have so many other games to play, but the fact that I'm even considering, I would never have considered playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or 3 before, but now I'm like, yes, I want to. Like, I want to see more of this world and more of the characters and how it all connects, especially knowing the things I do about 2 and 3. I want to experience those for myself, and I guess Torna as well in that case. I'm currently doing Future Connected. I just started it last night, so I'll hopefully wrap that up and then be able to move on. But I honestly, part of me doesn't even want the journey to end. Part of me doesn't even want the journey with this game to end because I'm just that engrossed with the characters. I want to see them continue to grow and thrive. And it's cool that, you know, original fans of the game got to experience that with Definitive Edition with the Future Connected expansion. From what I understand, it's not a massive deal, but it's like, Jared said it was a good 10 to 15 hours, so that's a decent chunk, but obviously nothing compared to the base game. But like, it's almost like, it's so weird because like, I started to get a tiny bit burnt out, like I said, like maybe like before the 10-hour, 15-hour mark, but then something just clicked to where I just wanted to play it non-stop. And I'm almost at the point where like I wanted to keep going. Like I don't want it to end. I want to keep seeing these characters. I was kind of sad last night when I was like, what? It's over? Like the main story's over? Like I don't want to end it now, you know what I mean? And I've already done a lot of the side stuff. It's like, but at the same time, I look back, I'm like, ooh, that was the last 3 months of, you know, my gaming outside of streams was that. But like, it just goes, for me, this is a big deal personally, and this is a very personal video because it's just, I don't get hooked on games like that anymore. I really don't, especially a game of this length, which was originally so daunting to me. And then I played it, and it's just like I couldn't put it down. Legitimately couldn't put it down. I was playing it on the commuter rail when I was going into work once a week, playing it after dinner for hours. Like normally I play like 1, maybe 2 hours a night. I would play like 3 to 4 hours a night of this game when I wasn't streaming. I would play so much of it, and it still took me this long. But like, I was absolutely hooked. I was like, you know, I could watch a movie or I could play 4 hours of Xenoblade. Let me think about that. So it's just like, yeah, this game just had me hooked. And this is just, I don't want to make this super duper long. It's already long enough, but I'm just gushing about this game at this point. Let me just reiterate, as someone who does not enjoy RPGs typically because of their game length and also turn-based, I'm not a huge fan of, play this game. You know what I mean? I enjoy this game a lot. The story and the characters kept me going, and the gameplay didn't really get super stale for me. Like I said, I got a little bit burnt out near the very beginning, but like then it started to really hook and, you know, experiment with the different arts and abilities and upgrading everything. And swapping out the characters really helped for me with the main cast, so I could always get a little bit of variety, and that kept it kind of fresh for me, which I usually tend to do anyways. And so that was really good. And each character plays uniquely. And I didn't think, honestly, I know a lot of people don't like Charlotte especially. I actually enjoyed playing as her. There are some characters, I wasn't a huge fan of Melia, but like there definitely are some characters that I enjoyed more than others, but none of them I felt were bad to play as. I honestly enjoyed playing as all of them in the grand scheme of things. Certain ones more than others, but like just the characters really, I think, are probably the strongest part of this game. The cast, like I said, I know I'm just repeating myself now, is one of the best main cast of characters I've ever played in a game, straight up. Like literally there's no, I can't even question it. Legitimately one of the best. I mean, I loved when I played Persona 5 Strikers last year, and I love those characters too, but this game just goes so hard. And a big part of that is because of how long it is. That really is a big part of it. You know what I mean? I gotta skip this. What is this song? You know, and it's genuinely like, it's that engrossing of a game, I found. You know what I mean? And I really highly recommend it, and I hope you give it a shot if you do. Even if you're not a fan of RPGs, I would say this is such a special game. Like I said, you can feel the impact this game has had and the passion behind the game, the developers and the composers and the artists and everything, the story writers, just every little thing just adds to just the immersion and just the world of this game. And by the time I was wrapping it up, I was like, it's over, what the fuck? And it was just like, there's so many things. It's just like, it's so much but not too much, I think. And even though this game was a really long time, I think for the most part there were a few pacing issues I had, like maybe like halfway to 2/3 of the way through the game. I think for the most part this game doesn't really waste your time. You know, you don't have to do the side quests if you don't want to. I did, because I'm a kind of a maniac when it comes to that, and wanted to see it all through because I'm like, I gotta do everything in my quest log. Some of those were completely BS though. I just skipped over because I was like, I don't care at this point. Those stupid 5 super bosses or whatever. But like, this just like completely had me hooked, and it didn't, for the most part, it didn't feel like it was wasting time. It felt like it was all deserved of the time, especially because I got to see those characters grow and connect with each other, and they've come such a long way from the beginning all the way to the end. It was just, I don't know what else to say. I'm just repeating myself now. I would highly recommend you give this game a shot. At least give it a shot. And if it doesn't click with you, that's okay. I know the Xenoblade games don't go on sale very often, but I've heard this is the one to start with if you want to get into it. So I would recommend it. It's a really good game. Now I get it. Now I get Jared Sloshkole, all of you, I get it. I get why people are in love with this franchise, because especially those characters, I can't get away from those characters. They're so good. They are so well written, and they all connect with each other so well, I think. And it's just like, it's I don't know what else to say. It's so good. It's so good. This video is just me gushing about it. Very off the cuff, off the script. Just go play this game if you haven't already. Huey, listen, Huey, I'm talking to you if you're watching right now. I know you said you were thinking about it. Go do it right now. Go play it. Go play it right now. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video, though. Thank you so much for, if you made it through this far, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were able to put up with my rambling. Let me know in the comments below. If you've played this game, let me know. I want to know your thoughts on it, too. Try to keep it spoiler-free for people who haven't played the game. This is mostly targeted towards people who haven't played the, Xenoblade Chronicles. Just kind of tell them that it's good, by the way. You know, but let me know what you thought about the game. If you have any comments on it, and like, if you haven't played the game, let me know if there's anything that's not keeping you away. For me, it was the length. For me, it was really the game length, especially, you know, working full time. It's tough to find time these days to put this much time, but I did it last 3 months of my life were just dedicated to this game, and still probably a little bit more to finish up Future Connected. But let me know what else is maybe putting you on edge. I would recommend it. I would recommend you at least give it a shot. I wish there was like a demo or something Nintendo could have for this kind of game. I don't know how you would demo this kind of game anyways. I would give it a shot. If you ever find it on sale, I would easily nab this one, because it's just it's such a good game. I had such a good time with it. And like I said, you don't have to put 120 hours in. That was me doing all the side stuff, and that accounts for a lot of the time too. So you can always cut that down significantly if you skip a lot of the side stuff. But anyways, that's gonna do it for here. I gotta end this video, otherwise I'm just gonna keep rambling on. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next video or live stream. Like I said, go play Xenoblade. It is such a fantastic game, and especially if you're into JRPGs, I mean, it's almost a must play at that point if you're into JRPGs in any way, shape, or form. So anyways, I will catch you all in the next one. Take care in the meantime. Let's not lose our heads though.